Boom! That's exactly it. Like, do all the sacrifices you want, but if you're not obeying the word,
no point.
Then and then if you read for me chapter 6 verse 8, chapter 6 verse 8, and this is what God says, hey, because the sacrifices are the outward thing, they're the external things, they're like, yes, they're necessary, they're part of that culture at that time, the way God had structured it, but more than that, he was looking for their hearts, more than that, he was looking for obedience, right? And so this is what he wanted them to be like. Chapter 6 verse 8.
Yet showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God.
I feel like that's not asking for a lot.
No, just do justly, just love mercy, just walk with me.
He's like, that's what I want you to do, guys. Because, and I love this, here's the cool thing. He doesn't give them rules. Because there are rules for a relationship, but he starts off with this, it's like, firstly, love mercy. Mercy for who? Not him. God doesn't need mercy. For your fellow countrymen. And he simply says, hey, listen, to act justly, do what's right, but and just walk humbly with me. He's like, hey, if we can work on our relationship, what will birth out of that is you wanting to follow the system, the rules. Because, you know, the most human way I can put the thing is like, you know, sometimes if you were to meet somebody and you're like, oh, I'm interested in you, but before you ever start dating them, they're like, I need you to do this, I like it when you do this, and I need you to do this and this and this, and make sure you do this at this time, and I like breakfast at a specific time, and I like my bacon this way. You're just like, fam, bye-bye. But if you connect and you grow in the relationship, you're just like, I want to make you bacon. Like, oh, you don't have no, because I love you, I want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And God's like, start off with walking with me, getting to know me, and those things. Because, you know, Jesus says in the New Testament, he's like, hey, if you love me, you follow my commands. He doesn't say, if you follow my commands, then you love me. No. First start off with loving me, because if you don't love me, it's going to be harder to do the other stuff. Because when you love somebody, it's way easier to do random stuff. You're just like, yeah, let's go for a walk at 6 in the morning. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. I have to really love you.
I'm asleep.
I am asleep. Exactly. So it starts off with love is the answer. Now you call them my people. Read for me chapter 6, verse 5.
5.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, my people. I love how he's so, almost like possessive in a way. He's always like, you are mine.
Yeah.
Oh, my people. Remember now that Balak, king of Moab...
Alright, stop. I just wanted that part. Now read for me chapter 6, verse 3.
Verse 3, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, my people.
Alright, there we go. So here's what I want to say is these guys were not ignorant pagans. They knew who God was, and God knew who they were. You're like, again, and I love that you picked up on that language. He's not just saying Israel. He's not just saying Jerusalem. He's like, hey, my people. And yet, they continue to do their own thing. So, yes, judgment, repentance, turn away, seek after the Lord, and then it comes back to the same pattern again. God sends another prophet, etc., etc. But that's... yeah, the whole book just keeps on telling you just how evil everyone is. Like 7 verse 3, read that.
Let's see. That they may do evil with both hands earnestly. The prince asketh, and the judge asketh for reward, and the great man, he uttereth his mischievous desire, so they wrap it up.
Read verse 4.
The best of them is a briar. The most upright is sharper than a thorn hedge. The day of thy watchmen and thy visitation cometh. Now shall there be perplexity.
Yeah, so the book is, yeah, you know when you're reading it, it's just like da 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 da. There's no story. It's just like, huh? There's a lot of judgment. There's a lot of evil doing, but God comes. He redeems them, and at the end, there's a prayer and praise.
It probably shows like the disarray of everything. Like everything's going on all at the same time, and everything's going wrong all at the same time, sort of thing.
Yeah, it could almost be the way he's writing it as well. It's like, oh, God's here, but you're here. This is happening, and that's happening. Like everything is just so mixed up and cluttered up. It's like there's no sense in this. It's not just a one-way kind of easy flowing. It's just a bit of a mess. Yeah.
But, oh, I knew this was in here. Yay.
What was in here?
Micah 7:8. Rejoice not against me, O my enemy. I like this scripture. Sorry. Now you will preach. Somebody will preach.
I am glad you like that verse. Go and preach forth in Micah. Obviously, our key verse is chapter 6, verse 8. That's our key verse. Temple prostitution was a very big thing during that time, and they called it religious work. No, it wasn't. It was just man-made. A happy ending. In the midst of this chaos and carnage, Micah waits in hope. I know I will see him making things right for me and leading me in the right, he says in chapter 7, verse 9. The walls will be rebuilt and the people will be led to the good pasture again. Micah prays to God to lead them home, and God replies that he will work miracles once again. The people will be brought home and their sins will be thrown far away into the depths of the sea. God is angry, God is sad, but above all, God is faithful. I love that. God is angry, God is sad, but above all, God is faithful. The message of Micah is that God keeps his promises, and that the vision granted to the prophet would come true when the true king, remember, the true king came out of a little town called Bethlehem. The end. That is Micah. Now, yeah, I'm gonna stop this camera. Cheers, YouTube.